Hello, I'm Phil Dourado, author of The 60-Second Leader. I've got a 3-minute true leader tale for you that I hope will make you think again about what leadership actually is. What I hope it will make you think of is that you have to practice acts of leadership throughout your organisation rather than assume that the leader is a person at the top. Let me explain. Stephen Covey once said that a true leader is the person who climbs to the top of the tallest tree, surveys the entire situation, and yells down, "Wrong jungle!" There is great truth in that, the idea that leaders see what other people don't and recommend a course of action that others hadn't thought of. But don't assume from that story a kind of vertical connection between the fact that somebody at the top of the tallest tree has to be the person at the top of your organisation. We're in an age of flattened hierarchies now where you need to have leaders at all levels. And this true story I want to tell you illustrates just exactly how powerful that can be. Tilly was a 10-year-old girl on the beach in Phuket in Thailand on Christmas Eve 2004. This is a true story. She won a Marine Society Award in 2006, 2 years later. She and her mother were looking at the sea, and it looked rather odd. It was very flat and it was covered in bubbles. It looked like the foam on the head of a beer, she said later. "The sea's having a bad hair day," Tilly and her mum joked. But then Tilly suddenly remembered where she'd seen an ocean like that before. It was in her geography lesson when they'd been watching a video of the beach in Hawaii just before a tsunami struck. With a sudden sense of urgency, she shouted to her parents as if in a scene from the film Jaws that they had to get everybody off the beach as fast as possible. First of all, her parents didn't understand what Tilly was saying. But rather than what some people in authority might have done, which is tell her to be quiet and calm down, they listened, and they listened hard. When they realised the urgency of what she was saying, they moved up and down the beach and told other people that they were in danger and needed to leave. So compelling was Tilly's information that they even got a couple of lifeguards to get people out of the water and to join a small exodus from the beach. As they moved away from the beachfront and up the road into the town, they looked over their shoulders and saw that Tilly was indeed right. Now, the willingness of her parents to cede their authority, their natural parental authority, to Tilly in that situation, to be led by her, if you like, saved their lives that day and the lives of the people around them who listened to them. And what allowed Tilly to become a leader on that occasion was a combination of her own learning, her confidence in her own judgment, her sense that she had to do something, a strong sense of responsibility to step out and take action that would help people around her, even if that was at risk of making her sound like a fool. And the best leaders, by the way, are quite prepared to look like fools. But equally, as well as the innate characteristics within Tilly, which I'm sure you'd agree you'd want in all of your workforce and in yourself, what allowed her to be a leader in that situation was the preparedness of the culture around her, in the form of her parents, to temporarily cede leadership in that situation to the person who could best lead, who had the best information. Now, in your own organisation, that won't always be the person at the top. That will quite often be the person out on the edge of the organisation, in customer-facing roles, that traditionally have very little authority, because of that unspoken tradition that the further away from the centre you are, the less authority you have. The closer to the customers you are, the less important you are in terms of the hierarchy. Those people are perfectly primed to spot patterns in the market based on their interaction with customers, and those people are the least likely to have the kind of backwash mechanism that would allow them to lead upwards and into the organisation to let you know what's actually happening. Now, Max Weber said 100 years ago that the most powerful institutions will endure and thrive not through the acts of any charismatic leader at the top, but through constant acts of leadership throughout the system. And my proposition to you within the 60-Second Leader book, which is the theme running throughout the book, is that that's the only way that you can lead today. Leadership has to be based on acts of leadership, not on a perception of individual leaders, which is a distraction.